Hey guys, welcome back. I have got such a fun video for y'all today. I have got my favorite reads of 2023 for y'all today. So I had a hard time narrowing down. I don't even know how many books I have overall, but I've got some good overall favorites. I love to read. It's a huge part of my life. And so I kind of tried to divide them by genres for the most part. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna chat about my favorite books of 2023, and I'm not gonna give like synopsis on each of them just because that would take forever. I'm gonna kind of tell you like why I enjoy them. You know what I mean? Like maybe the trope that's in it or the feeling it gives or something like that, and then you can always look up synopsis of these books if you want to. So if you're new here, my name is Leslie. Welcome. I love to do favorites videos, new at the drugstore, reviews, empties, get ready with me's. Did I already say that? Anyway, just a lot of fun stuff here on my channel. So if you're new, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button and stuck around for a while. I love to have you here on my channel. So yeah, we are chatting about my favorite books from 2023. So let's get to it. Okay, let's start with thrillers. I do still really enjoy thrillers. I don't read quite as many of them as I used to, but I do still really enjoy a good thriller. So let's just, like, how do I want to organize these? I'm just going to grab them. So this one is called These Silent Woods. This one is really more of a mystery, but there's a ton of heart in this book. So if you like more of the mystery side of thrillers and you like a lot of heart in your books, I think you would really enjoy this one. I read it at the beginning of the year, so I don't remember exactly details on it, but I just really, it had a lot of heart to it, and that's what really stands out to me. I love a YA thriller. I really like a YA thriller because a lot of times they don't go as dark. Almost always they have some romance mixed in, which I love. So this is a standout favorite YA thriller, especially if you like kind of dark academia. This one is called They're Watching Us by Chelsea Echasco. Such a good book. Again, if you like romance in your thrillers, I think you would enjoy that one. I am a Frida McFadden fan. I can read her books, I mean, like usually in a day or two. I mean, they're just such fast reads. So I did read and really enjoy The Housemaid's Secret, just very kind of twisty, fast moving. Her books are just really fast, easy reads. So if you're feeling kind of book slumpy, hers are great ones to go for if you like a thriller. But I would say my favorite from her is Never Lie. This one really like had some great twists in it. Yeah, that's really, I mean, her books are known for just twists and being really easy to read. I also read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I really liked this series. It seems like people really either enjoy the first two and then really dislike the third one. I mean, I'm sure people like all three of them. For me personally, I enjoyed the first two, but I really liked the third one. Like it's darker for sure than the first two. These feel a lot more YA. This one feels more like a traditional thriller, but it just has a lot of like high stakes and it really gets intense. So I really enjoyed the third one. So yeah, but I really enjoyed the whole series overall. This one, I was trying to think. This is a top contender for favorite thriller. Also the third one from this series, but this one, the last one by Will Dean, I can't even really say much about this one other than, I mean, the basic premise, I said I wasn't going to do this, but the basic premise is she is on a cruise with her boyfriend. They have a great first day. Next day she wakes up and there is no one else on the ship. Like, she's by herself. So it's so crazy, and it goes from there. That's all I can say because, you know, like that's all I knew when I read it, and it was just so engaging, and I needed to know what was going to happen. It was so good. And then I love a good romance, so I've got some standout romance favorites. What I love in a romance is generally like kind of lower spice. Like if there's like a scene or two, I'm fine with that, but I prefer lower spice, and I love funny, witty banter and them just kind of like flirting together. Love that. I love a friends to lovers storyline. So those are kind of some like go-tos of what I love in a romance book. Lynn Painter, I feel like she does such a good job at cute, funny banter. This one is a friends to lovers kind of storyline. Don't love like how the premise of how this one starts, but the storyline, like just that they develop this friendship is very sweet. It's called The Love Wager. This is definitely a standout favorite. And talk about all the adorable little covers on these. These are just so darn cute. Sarah Adams, love her books. So a lot of people like When in Rome, which is the first one in this series, but that one's a Grumpy Sunshine, which is not my favorite storyline. Like a lot of times the grumpy, I'm just like, you're just grumpy. You're just grumpy. I don't like you very much. But this one is more of a, he kind of like, you know, shows her how to date or whatever, and he's sort of the bad boy a little bit. But again, it's a friends to lovers. Like it just is very sweet and just their friendship develops. So yeah, and so I liked that one a lot. Book lovers, oh my goodness, this is so fun. I feel like Emily Henry does a really great job of a lot of banter and really funny at kind of like the first half of her books, and then they just get very like heartfelt and deeper. So she's got like usually other elements too, like there's a sister element in this one. Happy Place had kind of like a friendship element. So I just feel like there's a lot to her books, but I especially love Book Lovers. I also read Happy Place and I really enjoyed that one, but this one I think this one's more of the standout for me. A Brush with Love by Maisie Eddings. Again, a friends to lovers storyline. This one just has like so much sweet heart to it. I really liked these characters. So sweet. Again, if you like that friends to lovers, I think you will love that book. It's really cute. Okay. I would say my standout two favorite romance, these two. The Bromance Book Club. Now this one has quite a bit of spice in it, and even the premise, like there's a lot of discussion of spice, but this is about a married couple and just like him winning her back and then just kind of reconnecting. It's so sweet. I was really rooting for this couple, and the premise of this is just funny, that it's just this group of guys that are reading romance novels trying to just kind of like understand their significant others, and it's sweet and cute and funny. I love it. And then the 7-Year Slip, oh my goodness, this one has kind of like a magical realism, time travel sort of a storyline to it, but just so heartfelt. Oh my goodness, I was so invested in the storyline, in these characters. Just like, how is this going to work? How are they going to end up together? It was just very good. So this one I know is very popular, and I agree. I love it as much as all the other people are saying they love it too. It's really good. Whew, I'm getting over being sick, so I just had a coughing attack. Okay, I also love Christian fiction. I definitely have some standout favorites, and I really found some kind of favorite authors in Christian fiction. So I would say Julie Klassen, definitely a standout. I really like her writing style. She writes more kind of mystery, with usually like a sweet romance in it too. But I'm just very picky about, I wouldn't say I'm overly picky, but you just know like those authors that you read and you just really kind of connect with their writing style. I connect with her writing style. I find her to be really easy to read. This one is A Castaway in Cornwall, and it just has a very sweet romance and a good kind of mystery to it. And it definitely kept me engaged. So I'm excited to read more from her. I really just like her writing style. Oh my goodness. Jody Headland, and specifically this series. I've read 3 out of the, I think there's 4 out, and I read 3 so far. This is the Waters of Time series. So it's a time travel series. So good. If you love romance, like you love a lot of just hubba romance, I think you would really like Jody Headland. And this series specifically, oh my goodness, it's so good. I was really engaged with the story. I would say my favorite of the 3 is the first one, Come Back to Me. And I've never read or seen Outlander, but I think this is kind of has like the vibes of like that time, well obviously time travel, but like the where they go to in time, I think maybe. Anyway, it's just so good. Okay, standouts for the year. So good. This is what is the series called? The Timeless series by Gabrielle Meyer. The first one is called When the Day Comes. So this is a time travel sort of storyline, but a very unique premise. So let me talk about the first one. So she is living in two different timelines, and when she turns, I think, 21, she has to decide which timeline she wants to stay in. And so she like lives in one timeline one day, and then the next day she wakes up and she's living in the other timeline. So same day, but just different years. And it is just so good. There's a lot of great faith in these books. Oh my goodness. So just really gripping. Like, she is an amazing author. This just has, if you love romance, adventure, time travel, history, there's great history to learn about in here. And just that you're so invested in the storyline, I think you will love these books. And just the faith. Oh my goodness, it's so good. And the last category, fantasy. I got so into fantasy this year. My preferences with fantasy, I definitely want romance in it. So romantasy, that's definitely like the genre I like, is romantasy. And that's not overly hard to understand. So I'm just kind of picky about that of, is the storyline too complex? I know everybody has different preferences as far as that goes, like the world building. I need more simple world building, otherwise I get confused. So I gotta give credit where credit is due. I read Fourth Wing, and it is what started my interest in fantasy. Like, it just was very easy to read. It was really engaging. It did have quite a bit of cussing in it. And that was a little distracting to me, but overall, like, I was just really engaged in the story. It was just very easy to read. There's great romance in it. And yeah, it just, that totally like started the romantasy sort of trend for me. So I have to give it credit. I did read Iron Flame and I still liked that one, but it got more complex and it confused me more. So that one I definitely prefer over Iron Flame. Then the Remnant Chronicles. This is by Mary E. Pearson. So good. The first one is my favorite, which is, I think, Kiss of Deception is the first one. So good. Just really like easy to read. This is a YA series, so I really liked that about it. Like, I don't think hardly any cussing whatsoever. And two, I think, kind of closed door scenes in the third book. But just great romance in it, really great adventure, totally kept me engaged. So I'm excited to read more from Mary E. Pearson, because I definitely connect with her writing style. I found her to be really easy to read. I read Divine Rivals in December, and I loved it. This one I would say is definitely more on the historical side. This is more almost like historical fantasy, historical magical realism or something. And I kept hearing people say that her writing is really pretty, which sometimes makes me go, oh, am I gonna like that? Like, is it too like, because sometimes really pretty writing is distracting, or I don't know, like, just I don't connect with it. But this I definitely did. Like, it's still very easy to read, but really beautiful. I was so invested in these characters' stories. This is a YA book, so I really liked that about it. Just so good. I think we're to my two favorites, and I say two favorites, a series and then another book. Overall, definitely standout favorites for the whole year, but definitely standout fantasy favorites. The Bridge Kingdom series, this is by Danielle L. Jensen. This is so good. So the first two, what I like about this also is, she writes in duologies. So this is a duology, and then this is a duology, but it's still in the same world. The characters are still connected. So Bridge Kingdom and then Traitor Queen. So good. I really connect with her writing style, and there is a little bit of cussing and some spice in it, but a lot of heart, a lot of adventure. It's easy to follow overall. I got a little bit more confused in the later books, but not that bad. And I mean, just so invested in these stories. of these characters. I mean, just really great. Like just a good mix of adventure and romance. And then this is the second duology, The Inadequate Heir and The Endless War. These are my favorites. These are so good. There is a little bit more spice in these, but oh my goodness, just such a sweet romance. I was so invested, like I already said. What else was I going to say? Oh, and I like that. So in this one, the third book, it overlaps the storyline of these, but from other characters' perspectives. Loved that because I am the queen of like reading a book and then continuing on in the series and I can't remember the details. So this really helped to kind of like remind me of what had been happening in the storyline. And then there's so much more that you hear, like, you know, you've got like their side of the story also. And then the story continues. So I really liked that kind of setup, how she did that. But just so much heart, such good romance, such good adventure. I love that series. I am a huge fan. And then Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is definitely, if I had to pick two favorite books for the whole year, well, three. We'll say three. I would say The Inadequate Heir, and then When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Meyer, and Powerless by Lauren Roberts. If I had to choose just one favorite, ooh, that'd be really tough. I would probably say When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Meyer, just because that one has so much to it. But this book right here, definitely overall standout favorite for the year. I love this book so much. It has a very Hunger Games feel to it. Tons of banter between the two main characters in here. Lots of flirting and romance. Romance is the top part of this book. So if you love romance, I think you'd really like it. It's YA, so I loved that about it. Just so good. I love this book. Okay, guys, so those are all my standout favorite books for 2023. So I hope that you really enjoyed this video. Please hit a thumbs up if you did. Let me know down below what your standout book favorites are. I would love to hear what your like most loved books from 2023 were. Let me know that down below. Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.